For these 5 entrepreneur teams, it started with a dream to launch a business. After a year of research, presentation, development, and mentorship, their dream may become a reality. Today, they'll have 5 minutes to pitch their business plan to a panel of experts ready to invest in their futures. From the Fairfield University Charles F. Dolan School of Business, this is Fairfield Startup.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 10th Annual Fairfield StartUp Showcase. I'm James Naughton, and I will be your MC tonight. Tonight, there are 5 innovative student teams who pitch before a live audience for bragging rights and big checks. Now, let's recognize first our gold sponsors who helped make this event happen. Future Tech Enterprise, Phoenix Tower International, Hugh Davis, class of 95, and Amy Baldwin, Joseph, class of 70, and Linda Bronson, Trish Preston, class of 80, Susan and Charles Vallone, parents, class of 21, John P. Welch, class of 87. Thanks to everyone for their support and for being a part of the Fairfield entrepreneurship phenomenon. Now here's a rundown of tonight's events. I'll introduce our investor panel. I will introduce the rules and how you can participate in our Audience Choice Award. Then we'll hear from our 5 Fairfield Startup student teams. Our investors will share their feedback for each team and reveal their choice for $30,000 in seed awards to our first, second, third place teams and honorable mentions. And lastly, we will conclude with your vote for our Audience Choice Award. So it's a busy night, let's get going. Welcome to our 2022 Investor Panel. Based on the student team pitches and their analysis of the team's business model, these investors, who are themselves entrepreneurs and have venture capital expertise, will be selecting our award winners to help the students move their startups to the next level. First of all, may I introduce to you, not for the first time, Joseph Bronson, class of 70. Joe Bronson is currently principal and CEO of the Bronson Group, LLC, a business advisory group focused on operational and financial consulting. In addition, he's a strategic advisor and managing director of Cowen Group, Inc., a New York City-based investment banking firm, and a member of the Board of Trustees of Fairfield University. Joe is a CPA and holds a BS in accounting from Fairfield University and an MBA from the University of Connecticut. Next to him, Chris Hillock, class of 2000. Chris is the Vice President and Head of Portfolio Development at Dell Technologies Capital, the venture capital arm of Dell Technologies. He is chartered with creating go-to-market partnerships and scaling strategies for portfolio companies within Dell Technologies business units and partner ecosystem. Chris holds a BS in Marketing and Information Systems from Fairfield University, an MBA in Finance from the University of Connecticut, and is a graduate from the General Management program from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. Next to Chris, Spring Hollis. Spring Hollis is the CEO and founder of Star Strong Capital, an investment firm focused on debt opportunities for early-stage companies. Prior to founding Star Strong Capital, Spring was a portfolio manager at Park Cities Asset Management, a credit fund investing in small business and consumer finance debt opportunities. Spring serves on the board of directors for the BOMA Project, an international nonprofit focused on economic empowerment of women in sub-Saharan Africa. She has a JD from New York University and a BA in philosophy from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Next to her is Brenda Lewis. Brenda is the owner of Transactions Marketing, Inc., TMI, a venture management firm focused on the launch and funding of enterprise mission-critical software, systems, and services. She is a judge for the annual Draper competition for collegiate women entrepreneurs at Smith College, and serves as a judge at Techstars Startup Weekend and the Connecticut New Venture Challenge. Brenda holds a BS in economics from Smith College, an MBA from the University of Connecticut, and attended Harvard Business School's program for management development. And lastly, but not least, Mark Sellinger, class of '90. Mark is currently an advisor for multiple B2B software companies across a number of verticals, helping executive teams with strategy and operations. With over 30 years of experience in the US and abroad, he's been on both sides of M&A and appreciates the nuances of the software industry. Prior to his current role, Mark was the Chief Operating Officer of Exago, Inc., responsible for driving operations including strategy, GTM, human resources, product development, quality assurance, customer experience, and professional services. Mark has a lot of responsibilities. He's earned a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from Fairfield University. Now it's almost time for the Startup Showcase. I know that the anticipation is pretty hard to handle. Before we start, there are some regulations that we need to note during our pre-show segment. This is the small print. So, you should know that this is an authentic educational exercise that we expect to lead to the founding of real companies in Connecticut. The teams are students with business proposals, but not yet incorporated entities that can take equity investments. The investor panelists may state conditions under which they would be willing to invest, but not enter legally binding agreements. Everybody got that? Okay. Before tonight's pitches, the investors had a chance to look over materials provided by the teams. As they listen to the teams deliver their pitches, the investors will look for good concepts, value propositions, viability of the business, and the potential of the team. Each team will present for 5 minutes, followed by 5 to 8 minutes of discussion of the merits and pitfalls of each idea. And at the end of all 5 presentations, the panel will deliberate on how much to fund each team. In addition to seed funding from our investor panel, you have the chance to award a team an additional $1,000. And at the end of all 5 presentations, you will have a chance to vote on which team you consider to be the winner of our audience favorite. Audience favorite will win a $1,000 prize, so listen to each team carefully. And in order to text to vote, all you need to do is text, and here it is, Fairfield StartUp D429 to 37607 once. You only vote once. To join or visit PollEV at pollev.com/Fairfield StartUp D429. Boy, isn't it a good thing that they have that on the screen, so you don't have to try to remember that. And I love to say it, as you can tell. When the poll opens, and you will enter the Showcase text-to-vote session. I'll tell you when that is. So, just like on The Voice, standard message and data rates apply. Okay, it's time for our first startup, and it is called GreenIRR.
We're GreenIRR. GreenIRR is a SaaS offering that allows investment managers easy access to current environmental data on their investments. This ensures that progress is being tracked and climate goals are being met. As environmental enthusiasts, we were looking for a way to change the world, and GreenIRR is how we're going to do that. At GreenIRR, we believe what you measure matters.
I understand that these folks are very, very smart. I'd like to point out, however, that they don't know how to spell GreenIRR. The GreenIRR team is Celine King and Logan McDougall. Team mentors are Richard Hyman, Matt Miller, and Peter Murugara. Welcome, GreenIRR. And here they are.
Good evening. My name is Celine King. I am the founder of GreenIRR. I am a junior business analytics major and a biology minor.
Hello, my name is Logan McDougall. I'm a junior environmental studies major, and I minor in entrepreneurship and American studies.
Before we begin, I would just like to share that Logan and I are unbelievably passionate about the environment, and All of the inspiration and motivation that we have had to continue to work on this over the past few months is rooted in the belief that we are building a tool to combat climate change. When you believe in something as big as that, it is astounding the amount of work that you can accomplish. So with that being said, we're very excited to present to you GreenIRR, and tonight we are seeking $25,000 for our minimum viable product, as well as introductions to more private equity firms. Environmental, social, and governance factors, also known as ESG, are having growing influence on private equity strategy across portfolios and throughout the transaction lifecycle. According to a PwC private equity survey, 54% of firms are taking measures to understand and mitigate their portfolio's exposure to climate risk, emphasizing the importance of the E in ESG. However, I am not here to convince you of the positive impact ESG may have on investments, but rather to draw your attention to the increase in environmentally focused goals in the private equity community. Throughout our market validation, we were privileged to speak with Patrick Finnerty, Vice President of Global Corporate and Investment Banking at Tokyo Bank. Tokyo Bank is a leader in sustainable investing, and it is ranked third in Bloomberg's Clean Energy Finance League tables. Patrick has stated there is a clear unmet need for environmental data on private companies, and without that, any climate goals made by private equity firms are unattainable. You cannot improve what you cannot measure, and GreenIRR provides a clear way to do that. GreenIRR is a SaaS offering that allows private equity managers easy access to current data on their portfolio companies to help ensure that progress is being tracked and climate goals are being met. In order to generate this current data, GreenIRR's proprietary algorithm accepts live company activity data feeds and generates standardized environmental data specific to each portfolio company. The data is then reported in unique industry-specific metrics derived from 8 leading global climate frameworks that drive powerful performance insights through a scientific lens. GreenIRR utilizes gap analysis in order to compare portfolio company performance to managers' target benchmarks. Tracking against these benchmarks makes it easier to identify any portfolio companies that are underperforming, posing investment risk, or potentially providing an opportunity for value creation. This is a mock-up of GreenIRR's dashboard for a specific portfolio company, displaying several outstanding environmental impact analytics available to managers. In this case, we're looking at Navistar Trucking. If you look at the top right, you can see a data feed of real-time environmental data, managers' target benchmarks, the delta, which represents the gap analysis between performance and benchmark, and the colors red, yellow, and green indicate the risk that this company poses to managers' overall goals. GreenIRR's comprehensive dashboard allows managers to be much more data-driven in assessing how their portfolio is performing and where it may be at risk in real time. Our initial target market is those small to medium-sized private equity firms that have ESG or sustainability criteria for their current portfolio. This accounts for roughly 250 firms. After successfully penetrating this market, GreenIRR will pursue its serviceable addressable market, which accounts for roughly another 500 firms whose portfolios are between $25 and $200 million in assets under management. Finally, in the total addressable market, there is roughly 10,000 private equity firms in the entire United States. In addition, PwC has reported that 28% of all private equity firms plan to incorporate climate risk assessments into their portfolios in the next year. This means that GreenIRR's initial target is a big, untapped market that continues to get bigger every day. We recognize we have competition. However, it is important to note that the majority of our competitors are ESG scoring software. They serve institutions that invest in public companies, such as banks, because environmental data on public companies is easily accessible and even more recently mandated by the SEC. Rather than enter this overserved market, GreenIRR looks to target private equity in order to accelerate their climate goals into action. Unlike the few competitors in this space, GreenIRR can thoroughly measure environmental impact because it does not share focus with social and governance factors. It provides data in real time to ensure well-informed and timely decision-making regarding investments, reports the data and unique industry-specific metrics to allow for accurate industry comparisons, and it allows for custom benchmarking so that managers can more closely align their investments with their personal objectives. This chart illustrates our projected revenue by 2026. Utilizing a SaaS model, there will be an annual service agreement including a one-time onboarding fee of $5,000 and ongoing monthly payments of $175 per portfolio company. In this model, a firm with 10 portfolio companies pays $1,750 a month or $26,000 for their first year. These projections are based upon subscription revenue for a firm with 10 portfolio companies, subscriber growth, and other assumptions. And finally, for our business plan, beginning tonight with the Fairfield StartUp Showcase, we will raise $25,000 and have our MVP created by July of 2022. We will have software version 1 created by January of 2023. We will then begin beta testing with our selected early adopters, and in July of 2023, GreenIRR plans to launch. Again, we are seeking $25,000 for our minimum viable product, as well as introductions to more private equity firms, and we would like to thank you for your time and consideration. When you think of GreenIRR, please remember that we are the E in ESG, and we believe that what you measure matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Celine and Logan, for this good presentation and for the clear preparation of your materials. One of the key questions that we all had in looking at your startup is the difficulty in attaining real-time company data, that is, from the assets under management in the portfolio companies of private equity firms. Can you tell us a little bit about how you plan to onboard at such a low rate, $5,000, and how you have tried to estimate the demand that will be present in those 228 firms you've targeted?
Absolutely. So I would like to start off by saying that our initial industry that we're targeting is transportation. And part of the reason that we're targeting them is because of their use of telematic technology. These are sensors that are installed into their vehicles that report real-time data on the operations of all vehicles, all assets. Because our inputs are real-time, so is our output. In terms of acquiring these data feeds throughout our market validation, specifically when we spoke with Union Park Capital, they shared with us that because they have equity in the company, they actually had access to 49 of the 50 data streams of all of their companies in their portfolio. So we believe that because managers have an equity in the company, they are going to be allowed access, and they can mandate it to their portfolio companies if the companies wish to remain in the portfolio.
Did any of the companies that you've spoken to agree to be willing to be either a design partner or a beta customer once your MVP is ready?
We do not have a beta customer, but we're very excited to announce that recently we were approved for a collaboration with Daniel Wanstreet, who is the Director of ESG Strategy at Wells Fargo Bank.
Real-time data is an interesting term, and it means different things to different people. But, you know, in IoT, data gets very big very fast. So I think, you know, you'd be thinking a little bit about the cost model and maybe how you would, you know, make up for that on the revenue side. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so I think because we're going to continue to validate our market's needs, real-time data might not be what's necessary right now, given the current environment, but we're seeking as low latency data as possible, because right now what our competitors are providing are semi-annual reports or even annual reports, which is not frequent enough for them to accurately assess the environmental impact of their investments.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Well, that concludes our Q&A for GreenIRR. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
And now we're welcoming our second startup. Please welcome Present Pass. The Present Pass team is Joe Crowley, Ashley Malone, Remy Papillon, Daniel Reisman, and Umi Rahman. Team mentors are Marty Donner, Adrian Rousseau, and Winston DeMartini. Please welcome Present Pass.
We are Present Pass, the future of fast, reliable, and easy gift giving. We personally curate gifts so that you can enjoy your special occasions. Never again will you have to go out and spend hours shopping for a gift, or accidentally forget it, or even buy them something they already have. With our service, it's as easy as downloading an app, filling out a profile, and getting them the right gift. Present Pass, the right gift every time.
Here they come, Present Pass.
Events and celebrations are some of the most important times in our lives. It's a chance to go and spend time with family and people that we care about. And the gifts we should give them should just be equally as special. But there's a problem. I know that I myself have spent tons of time, hours, and energy going and trying to find the right gift, only to end up returning it sometimes. And for vendors, returns are equally as costly. Wouldn't it be nice to get the right gift every time? Hi, my name is Ashley Malone.
And my name is Daniel Reisman.
And we are representing Present Pass. Us, with our group of 5 computer science majors and 3 mentors, have managed to create something that we worked on. Present Pass. Present Pass is a mobile application that creates a curated marketplace. For each person that you're trying to get a gift for, instead of showing you a conglomerate of different searches or making you scroll forever, we bring the gifts to you. Each person is unique, and so should the products that you should be shown. Such products should be tailored to each individual's profile. The profiles, so what happens is that you download an application and you fill out a profile for each person you're buying a gift for. After which, for each person, you'll be shown a set of gifts just for them. The online shopping industry has grown drastically. Over the past 5 years, it has nearly quadrupled. And by the end of 2022, it is expected to reach $7.7 billion. We intend to help online gift shoppers, college students, millennials, tech-literate people that need the help, but may not have the time to actually buy the gifts they want for people. We're planning to launch in the New York metropolitan area to go and help kickstart what we're working on. But that's not all. We also aim to help gift vendors by working as a matchmaker to connect them with the buyers that they would best work with and reduce the amount of returns. And lastly, there are also the data buyers, those who would best benefit from all the information that we can gather. Our competitive advantage. Unlike other competitors, we do not fall into the pit traps of boiling somebody down to a demographic, nor do we compile everybody into a singular, weird profile that you'll see the results of in your ad history for the next couple of months. Instead, what we do is we show something individually, curated, perfectly made for the people that you're buying the gifts for. And in addition to that, those that most would consider competitors can also be buyers for us. We work as a matchmaker, not an exclusive competitor. We understand that the largest barrier to entry for this market is customer acquisition. We estimate that our customer acquisition will be approximately $3.85, which is around average. We hope on getting over this by investing into our initial marketing. $45,000 in the initial funding for the campaign, and over 40% of the initial profits will be reinvested to make sure that we have a solid base to work with. Our online gift shoppers will work with both a subscription and non-subscription base to make sure that we touch the most amount of people that we can with this. After that, there are also the vendors. We offer them a market and people to work and connect with. And secondly, we offer them less amount of returns, which is great. And lastly, the data that we accumulate, we can also hand to data buyers who can best capitalize upon it. Our projected revenue. We are projected to break even before the end of the first year. Our profits within the first year will be over $200,000 within the first year. And by the end of the 4th year, we will be expected to nearly reach $2.5 million. What we hope to gain from today is, in addition to investment seeds, we also want to see if anybody has any marketing experience, data analytic expertise, or connections with suppliers and partnerships that we can work with and build upon. Thank you.
Thank you. Now the investors will ask them some questions.
Thank you, Ashley. That was a great presentation. I think my initial question relates to your revenue model, and I'm curious how you segregate the different revenue channels and how you've measured that.
So for the revenue model, there are the people who will be utilizing the app itself for purchasing. Those individuals they have the option to go with a subscription or to do it utilizing it for free. By utilizing it for free, we still gain money from that as well. There's also the vendors who, for every single individual that we can show and push towards to go and buy for them, we get a portion of what is purchased. And lastly, the data buyers is the last step. And so what that does is that the things that we can provide to them, they take the data after that. So it's something that starts off with the initial shoppers, the people who utilize the app. And from there, we can even show that to the vendors later on, in addition to what's already out there, to go and make stronger connections and build what we can do. And at the very end of all this time, we will have the data that we've been sitting on and banking and utilize that. It only grows.
Thank you. As it relates to the data, have you thought about the privacy regulations in respect to kind of the different types of data that you're accumulating?
Absolutely. So this is something that we definitely have taken into consideration, and this is something that's one of the largest points that we want to make sure to keep at the forefront. We understand that we are to be somebody that is trusted with the information that we are provided, and something that at least could help ease people's understanding is that when you make a profile for an individual you are buying something for, you tell us how much information you want to give. There is no probing or going deeper or digging. It's all the information that we get is something that people will willingly give us in that regard.
Thank you.
All right.
What's your plan to acquire users and drive adoption to the platform?
So our plan to do so is to focus on marketing, specifically online marketing, and utilizing things like mini bloggers and creating a basis of individuals who would want to work with us in that regard. Do you want to speak more on that?
Yeah, sure. So essentially we would, as Ashley said, is kind of just focus on a lot of mini bloggers, or I think at one point we even talked about kind of exclusive deals or kind of and something similar to that. Essentially, we just want to be able to kind of build a reach through, kind of a lot of kids our age, or a lot of kids kind of people in our kind of general area, do a lot through social media, and I think that's kind of the main primary platform.
Additionally, we plan on giving people the opportunity to try the product for free, and then if they like it, they can continue with a subscription.
So the app is free to start
Yes,
with? Okay.
absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
An individual can use the application for free, basically indefinitely, and we still get an income from that. Mm-hmm. It's no loss on our backs. It is completely fine. The subscription is just something that allows for people who are going to use it more prolifically to gain more access to more different aspects of it, and also for us to gain a specific steady source of revenue, but it is not required for us to actually work.
Right. So I think we would encourage you, after you implement, to measure your returns. Because if this application can do better than existing situations, you will have created a lot of value in your app, mm-hmm. Which will be extremely valuable as intellectual property in the algorithms that you have.
So the last thing I'd want to say is, in addition to helping the buyers, vendors also have a problem with returns. For Amazon, approximately 30% of all gifts bought for somebody else are returned. And so the idea is if we can help match people better to the vendors and the vendors better to the people buying their products, that can greatly reduce the amount of returns, and as such, save some companies a lot of money, which makes us even more of a reason to work with.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And that is the conclusion. Please give a round of applause to President Pass. Now don't forget, at the end of all 5 presentations, you will have a chance to vote on which team you consider to be the winner of our audience favorite. And that team will win an extra $1,000 prize. Now to continue with the competition, we are welcoming the video for our 3rd startup, which is called Village.
We're a Village team, and we're here to improve the quality of middle school education. The problem with middle school education nowadays is that students don't have many resources beyond their teacher, but they have plenty of resources if they only tap into them. College students like us could definitely improve the quality of middle school education, and that's what we're here to do. We are the students helping students, and we are Village.
The Village team is Brendan Daly, Rockable Haq, Reyes Huerta, Ricky Jagru, Tan Lei. Team mentors are Emily Yale, Jonathan Wilson, and Kurt Nazer. Please welcome Village.
Reyes, don't look now, but there's a lot of people here.
Oh man.
Okay, hey everyone. My name is Ricky Jagru. I'm a senior computer science student here at Fairfield.
And I am Reyes Huerta, and I'm also a senior computer science student with a minor in graphic design.
Perfect, and we're here to present Village. Now you might be wondering, what is Village, right? Village is an educational platform that intends to assist in middle school education by tying college students, much like ourselves, to middle school teachers. Now you might be wondering, what do college students have to do with middle school teachers? And I'm so glad you didn't ask. So the problem with middle school education nowadays is that there's a lack of supplemental resources. Most people point to it being a funding issue or a staffing issue. We think that there's a much simpler solution to all of this. The much simpler solution is us. Us as college students. We're training to become experts in our fields, experts as majors, right? That's why we study subject areas, we become majors in it. But we're not treated as the resources that we are. We want to change that. We want to use Village to tie into middle school education and just act as a mentor, really, for middle school students. We think that this is certainly possible as there are service learning opportunities here at Fairfield, and we'll go over that in the next slide. So, the best solution to the problem of middle school education, the problems plaguing middle school education, is Village. Village is rooted in the idea that it takes a village to raise a child. Everybody knows the proverb, and we want to make it a reality. It's rooted in the service learning opportunities here at Fairfield. Education classes here at Fairfield tie college students, much like ourselves, to middle school students over in Bridgeport. And over the course of a semester, we help them with homework, quizzes, tests, anything that they need help with, really. And the best thing is, they're able to make great strides in education. The only problem is, it only lasts a semester. After that semester, we lose track of the students that we're mentoring, and we aren't able to say for certain if they're actually retaining the information that we help them with. We want to change that. Villages intend to be a long-term solution based on the service learning opportunities here at Fairfield. Village is an educational platform that provides customized support for middle school teachers by tying them to college students much like ourselves. The idea of Village is actually very simple. It's a matching service that ties directly into the LMS, the learning management systems that already exist today. Students might know about Blackboard. We want to tie directly into that. And the idea is very simple. Here's what we're going to do. Reyes, I'm a middle school teacher who really needs help teaching my students about multiplication. They're really falling behind. They can't seem to do well in their tests. Do you think you can create a lesson plan that's able to help them out a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. And just like that, we've got our partnership. We've got a teacher, we've got a college student, and we've got a new way to help out middle school education. It's kind of crazy that nobody thought of this before, right? Now, that's the general idea of what Village does. What does it actually do technically? And I'm so glad you didn't ask. What Village really aims to do is it aims to offer just another educational resource that college students can provide. So they can provide lesson plans, they can provide tutoring, they can even help with grading, and the most important thing is that they can give actual quantitative feedback to middle school teachers about how their students are retaining information. They can create graphs, for example, about how students are doing on homeworks over time. They can graph the test results, basically. They can give actual feedback of how middle school students are doing within classes, and then the teachers can then shift their approach to middle school education. The market, and I know that this is the big one for most people. The market is very simple. We have two players in the market. We have college students, we have middle school teachers. They are the users of our system. Notice that we do not have the middle school students there. It's really just the two parties cooperating to help middle school students. The target audience, I guess, is really colleges and universities who will provide the college students, much like ourselves, and the middle schools that will provide the teachers who are seeking college students. What we have is a market of almost $95 million. That's our serviceable, attainable market. So before anybody jumps out of their seat, that's the most that we can actually get. It was a very simple calculation that may be a little bit out of date, honestly. There are about 15,000 middle schools in the US, and we just multiply that by 6,000, which is our flat fee for 25 TAs, college students like ourselves. And there's a higher fee if, if schools need more TAs. Our village team are 5 starry-eyed computer scientists, 2 of which you see in front of you, 3 of which are waiting in the wings, and we have 3 mentors, which I hope are out in the audience or watching online. And then our challenges. We know that Village is a perfect system, right? But nothing's perfect. We do have 4 areas that we need help with. The biggest thing is that we need educational experts on both the middle school and college side. We need to know if this system can actually work. And we need help with marketing and business. Again, we are 5 computer scientists, but we do think that, if our village grows, our opportunity to help out middle school students can actually reach its fullest potential. The final thing is that we need a data security expert. We're dealing with student information, student data. We need to keep that secure, both on the college side and the middle school side. Right, and that's all we have for you guys today. All I wanted to say is one more thing. Village is a system that's based on real villages, right? And real villages prosper as they grow. So to that end, I'd like to invite my team to join our system. That's my partner's invitation, and everybody else's invitation is right up there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, villages. And whom might we hear from?
Yeah, good job, guys. Very nice trying to explain what you're attempting to do here and bringing it back to your personal experiences. A couple questions, right? Do you think you can actually make an impact without direct access to the student themselves, like being a middleman?
Yeah, so the tough thing is there's 2 of us, but I'll answer most of the questions. Please feel free to jump in anytime, all right? Yep. Yeah, I do think that it's certainly possible. What I noticed is that when I went through this whole service learning experience at Fairfield a year ago, that was during the height of the pandemic, so we weren't actually able to meet with the students that we were able to help. We were able to meet with them for an hour weekly on Wednesdays, but aside from that, we had to create other resources for them. We had to record videos, we had to go over lessons that they learned in class just one more time for them, but all this was recorded. And the best thing is seeing the happiness on students' faces after they were like, wait, I saw your video, and they remembered everything that was in the video. So I do think that it is possible. Fairfield has proven that it's possible to help out middle school students without actually interacting with them.
Okay, and I know you talked about the middle schools themselves are the buyers. It's not easy to sell to school systems. Do you have a plan of how you guys might attack that?
Yeah, very good question. So what I'll do is I'll handle the long-term plan, and Reyes, do you want to handle what we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So the long-term plan is that we want to run presentations at middle schools. It's very easy to just walk over to a middle school and say, hey, we have an idea. Would you like to at least give us 5 minutes of your time? And from that one meeting, we'd be able to present to that school. The best thing is, once one school joins our system, finds success, all the other schools in the district tend to follow, right? That's what happens with a singular grading system, like here at Fairfield, we have Blackboard, but in middle schools, they have this system called Canvas, and it's for the entire district. So I do think that if we're able to replicate what Canvas does, basically sell ourselves to one school and then expand that to other schools, it's certainly possible. Do you want to talk about what we're doing now?
Yeah, for right now, our biggest target right now is right next door from Fairfield, which is the Bridgeport Public School System, which has a very important number of students that really need help and really lack help, mentorship, and a good quality education. And with Village, helping the Bridgeport public school system would increasingly show how valuable our system is to expand further out from Bridgeport.
How do you get paid?
Oh, very good question. The best question, right? Everybody wants to get paid. So it's a very simple system. We're gonna tie into other payment systems. We can't really manage that just with our knowledge, and that's another thing that we need help with. But basically, the middle schools will apply to us through Village. So really, when you go onto the Village website, you're not gonna see much. It's really just log in or reach out to us. So they'd have to organize a meeting with us, and then on a semester basis, they'll pay us $6,000 if they want to get 25 TAs. If it's a bigger school and they want more, there's a higher fee.
What percentage of the revenue do you keep, and how much goes to the student teachers?
I'm so glad you asked, yeah. So the best thing, and I forgot to mention this during the presentation if it's not clear, the college students themselves don't get paid. And I know that that sounds bad. I know that everybody wants to get paid. The college students themselves instead get grades. So we're going to tie into service learning programs here at Fairfield. So it'll work as coursework for them, right? Basically, they interact with the platform, they get a good grade. Now, for courses that are not service learning, the teachers, we took a survey an informal survey of non-service learning professors that we have, 10 of them, and they all said that they're willing to have like Village as an alternate assignment for certain assignments that students don't want to do. So it'll work as extra credit, I assume. But basically, the teachers will coordinate with the students to work on this instead of doing a tough assignment. The one more thing that college students get just by lieu of using the system is that they get work experience. Now, we're 5 computer science students who are almost out the door, almost towards graduation, and the one thing we need right now is something to build our resume. So we wanted to use Village as a way of helping college students get that valuable work experience, or even volunteer experience if they want to phrase it that way, just something to build their resume, really.
And that's all the time we have. Thank you very much. Thank you, Villages. Our fourth startup is called Quantify, and here's a short video.
Quantify is an all-in-one crypto solution to buy and trade any and every crypto, as well as an integrated strategy generator so that you can meet your investing goals.
The Quantify team is Mariana Antia, Akul Khatri, Evan Lavagno, Shant Medallion, Keshav Sule, and Andrew Viseglia. Team mentors are Peter Murugara, Jeff Hendrickson, and Stephen Dirks. Welcome, Quantify.
Thank you. Can anyone tell me how much money this is? It's not often you get to read a number like this, but $55 trillion was the amount of cryptocurrency bought and sold in 2021. Now, financial advisors face a mountain of challenges just when they hear the word cryptocurrency. In fact, most financial advisors and wealth managers are unable to trade crypto. And with 49% of clients asking and inquiring about crypto, there's obviously a clear demand. But without the solutions or analysis, financial advisors cannot give their clients the intelligent solutions they know they should have. I'm Mariana. I'm a math and computer science major here at Fairfield University, and I present to you Quantify. Quantify is a cryptocurrency portfolio selection, evaluation, and optimization tool for financial advisors to manage all of their clients' digital assets. And the best part is, it's all based on the client's expectation for return and their individual risk tolerance. So with our software, financial advisors can better understand this new digital asset class, to better diversify and balance their clients' portfolios. Our AI algorithms diversify and recommend crypto baskets and strategies so that advisors can optimize and improve their clients' returns. So the crypto market is growing at an exponential rate, and we first hope to target US-based financial advisors who are independent or at smaller firms. We see that the crypto market is becoming more and more prominent as large institutions and firms come out publicly and share their investments. Actually, just yesterday, Fidelity Investments announced that later this year, their clients will be able to put a portion of their 401k accounts into Bitcoin. So there's a lot of traction in the market, yet our target market still remains underserved. These two graphs show how portfolio composition is changing and will change within the next 15 years. Applying today's CAGR of 12%, you can see that digital assets will become a larger part of clients' portfolios. And this is why financial advisors need to get in now, or else their opportunities and their clients will go and seek other opportunities. We realize there's some competition in the space, but since the market is so new and evolving, there's still no dominant winner. Quantify differentiates itself because we are a tool tailored specifically to the client's risk tolerance and their existing portfolio. Quantify has an all-in-one, easy-to-use dashboard where advisors and their clients can log in and analyze and optimize their crypto holdings alongside their traditional investments. Quantify is a qualitative and a quantitative tool. It illustrates the risk and reward that comes with investing into multiple digital asset classes, a comprehensive competitive advantage. We've spoken to over 35 financial advisors who all seek the same types of softwares and analysis that they currently use to the equities market, but applied to this new and confusing digital asset class. With a 1% adoption rate in year 1 and scaling to 15% by year 5, we assume we can obtain 40,000 financial advisors. With this being said, we plan on implementing a tiered subscription-based pricing model dependent on the number of clients each advisor manages. There is a one-time onboarding fee of $5,000 for advisors to better leverage the platform and optimize their clients' returns. Under all of these assumptions, we assume an annual recurring revenue of $58.5 million by year 5. We have an exceptionally talented group of engineering students and a wonderful group of mentors who have helped us along the way. But we also seek to expand our data-driven team to bring innovation to our software in the future. As the crypto market continues to expand and grow at an accelerated rate, we seek introductions to financial advisors, to fintech accelerators, and also look towards the future growth of Quantify to be incorporated into financial institutional tooling. Currently, all of our funding is going towards tech, product, and business development as we complete our MVP. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. If you're interested in learning more about Quantify, please feel free and ask questions. We'll be handing out free Bitcoin after the presentation.
Mariana, really great job.
Thank you.
I just had really one question, which is, how did you develop the pricing model? And when you were speaking to advisors, did you get any feedback on the pricing model? Did you validate that they would be willing to pay?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So the onboarding fee of $5,000 is pretty standard across our competitors as well. They also charge an onboarding fee of $5,000, so that's how that metric we came up with. And then in terms of the pricing model, we spoke to financial advisors and got their input, but it was created based on the amount of revenue in their salary. So it's less than 1%, assuming that the average financial advisor, they have over $92 million under management. So we've spoken to financial advisors and they say it's a fair price.
Got it, thanks. And then, Is the intent for this to integrate with some of the existing tools that the advisors use, or do you plan to replace any of the tool sets that they currently leverage today?
Thank you for that question. Great question. Yes, we do hope in the future our exit strategy will be to be incorporated into financial institutional tooling like at big firms. Currently, they're under regulation, so they're not allowed to create these types of products as of yet. They can only do research.
Great, thanks.
So if regulation changes and is more favorable, for crypto, does that help or hurt you?
No, that helps us a lot because we're ahead of the curve on the journey and we're already preparing for the regulations to come out and come forth. So it's more favorable for a company to already acquire a smaller knit of intelligent minds who have a product ready for them that they can fully integrate. Thank you.
Can you speak to some of the portfolio analytics? Like what specifically are you looking at and reporting on?
Mm-hmm. So most of the portfolio analytics that we will cover are in the machine learning and AI models. So we will compare different peer groups and see what other people like you or like other clients are investing in currently, and also depending on the benchmarks and the risks that the clients are willing to take, that is what the financial advisors will be able to later recommend to their clients.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you planning to incorporate a fair amount of educational content? Because it seems as though this is a market where the financial advisors are really in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We hope that Quantify will be that educational tool for financial advisors to lean on so that they can better educate themselves and also educate their clients depending on their clients' needs and their clients' investment goals. So definitely it'll be an all-in-one platform solution to do so.
Thank you. And thank you to Quantify.
Thank you.
Well, our fifth and final competing startup is called Right Hand Apprentice. And here's a short video.
We're Right Hand Apprentice, where we're looking to provide a marketplace for high quality and vetted college students, doing jobs ranging from babysitting to leaf blowing at competitive prices. Unlike competition, our focus is on developing the future leaders of tomorrow. Right Hand Apprentice is looking to make your honey-do list a honey-done list.
The Right Hand Apprentice team is Valentina Montalvo, Caroline Nielsen, Christian O'Rourke, TJ Schlatter, and Phil J. White. Team mentors are Jeff Hendrickson, Chip Stepacker, and Bob Mattis. Please welcome Right Hand Apprentice.
Hi, my name is Christian O'Rourke. I'm a sophomore and the founder and CEO of Right Hand Apprentice, where we are looking to provide a marketplace of college students to make your honey-do list a honey-done list. The idea was inspired from my grandpa, who is a carpenter, and my father, who has a background as a CPA and is a current CFO. Through them, I learned how to be handy and bootstrap my own odd job service business. Now, I'd like the panelists to please raise their hands if you like to go golfing. Mr. Bronson, I hear that you're a bit of a golf connoisseur. So, would you rather spend your Saturday morning on the links or weeding in the hot sun?
I haven't weeded in the hot sun in 40 years.
You're not alone. There are millions of people out there with the same dilemma. In addition, the problem of trying to find someone who is trustworthy, timely, and does the job right the first time. Meanwhile, countless college students are sitting in their dorms, struggling to find consistent ways to make money. $50 might not seem like a lot to you, but to a college student, that's a new textbook or 3 pies at Colony Grill. So, Right Hand Apprentice is looking to connect you with a marketplace full of highly motivated, vetted, and trained local college students at competitive prices. guaranteeing services within 72 hours of an estimate. Services within 72 hours of an estimate, offering a seamless process for both parties. These apprentices will be performing residential and light commercial chores depending on the season and demand. For example, snow shoveling in the winter and deck staining in the spring. Deck staining in the spring. These apprentices won't be remodeling your kitchen, but they will be giving valuable time back in your day by offering an extra set of hands to the chores that you dread the most. Regarding the demand, there's a $433 million market ready to be captured in Connecticut alone. $433 million. But imagine what those numbers could look like if we scale this nationwide. Now, you might be asking yourself, Christian, how are you going to acquire all of these clients and apprentices? I'm glad you asked. We'll be launching in Fairfield County, where we will leverage the Fairfield community, the alumni network, and local college students. We'll be targeting homeowners, students living off campus, and local businesses helping resolve the tight labor market. We'll be reaching our market through targeted social media ads and Facebook group chats. But why us? Through my experience, it has given me insight on what the competitors are missing. I realized the people who hired me value knowing the person behind the job, such as a local college student, versus a random professional they found online. Additionally, my team conducted market research where we discovered the hiring process for our competitors is only background checks and brief vetting. They focus on they invest in the platform, but not in the training and development of the people that represent them. We are looking to provide the human connection and trustworthiness through our vetting, detailed student profiles, and training program, where they will develop their time management, relationship building, problem solving, and basic technical skills. These will all be streamlined in our user-friendly app, where we will also help assist apprentices in giving proper estimates. Like I said, I started this company over 2 years ago. In that time, I achieved over $30,000 in revenue, acquired over 70 plus clients, and worked over 1,000 hours. I was learning invaluable lessons that can't be taught in a classroom that I want to share with these apprentices, so they don't have to go through the same rigorous process I went through. But what I want you to take away from this slide is what these numbers could look like if there were apprentices working alongside me. We expect, by year 3, to onboard 175 apprentices with an annual recurring revenue of $1.5 million for the company. To scale what we have already achieved, we are looking to use our capital investment for training, for app development, marketing, and our training program. We have a highly skilled team we have a talented team with a diversified skill set that made this all possible. We've made great strides in our business model and are now looking to customize the app, develop the marketing campaign, and decide a launch date. But in order to launch, we will need introductions to investors, connections within the community, and to onboard a part-time business manager. So, who's looking to make their honey-do list a honey-done list? Thank you.
This is a very good concept in my view. The problem is these investors pick me to do this, and I'm your best customer since I haven't done anything around the house in 40 years. I think the key to what you said is really the human resource part of it. I mean, Fairfield students, it's a really great workforce. You have to be sure that they are going to get the job done and do it for your customer in a way that will spread the word around. And that's how you scale this. So tell me a little bit about insurance. Is there a problem? You have potential with workman's comp or just insuring against liability and things of that sort. How have you dealt with that?
Yeah, so basically we'll have general liability which will cover from the time that they leave for the job, get in the car, to the time that they finish the job. So they'll be covered. And then Tina can answer regarding the independent contractors and how that works.
Yes, so our apprentices will be working similarly to other businesses that are platform business models, such as Uber or TaskRabbit. And in these companies, the drivers or the taskers aren't considered employees, they're considered independent contractors. So that means that we don't have the liability of minimum wage or providing the tax information for them. So all of that is kind of in their hands. Mm-hmm.
But you do have the potential for liability if there's some kind of problem, right? I mean, and you have insurance for that?
Yeah, so we'll be covered, like I said, from the time even they get in the car. So if they get in a car accident on the time to the job, we'll be covered from general liability.
Right, right. You have an opportunity to scale this, and I think the way to scale it is kind of by word of mouth. Have you thought about potentially franchising it?
Yeah, so we've thought about franchising, and it gets into the difficulties of, trying to decide if, it gets into a lot more taxing, and actually Tina can also take over
So we have...
she's a specialist. I try to take
I think you have a lawyer on the staff here, a potential one.
Yes, so we were thinking about franchising because that's what other models that have started like this have done. But a lot of our mentors have recommended that we don't do that because it could lead to a lot of issues that maybe we don't want to deal with. So at this point, we want to remain in Fairfield and kind of get the business model down. And then from there, look into what opportunities we have to launch in other campuses. And maybe that means having someone that will represent us there, that will have a portion of our revenue. So we're gonna see, but we definitely want a lot of legal advice to see what's the best way to expand.
Thanks. Does anybody else on the panel have any questions?
Yeah, one of the things we all liked about it is the fact that there's a trust factor with the college and the surrounding community, and that mutual trust, can get past, even with the insurance issue, many of the objections to some of the more professional services. But as you expand, that would be an issue that you would have to deal with very carefully and vet whomever you should choose in other universities. I like your idea of going to other universities, though.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you deal with spring break, winter break, summertime? What's the plan for those periods students aren't around?
Yeah, so we put out a survey to students on campus, and so we got statistics back. Tina can probably follow up with this one once again. But we got a survey coming back of what students are staying on campus, and also, as we know, Fairfield County, there's still students, actually one of our teammates here, TJ, he goes to University of St. Joe's, but he lives in Connecticut. So he would be able to fulfill those jobs, and there's still college students flowing in and out of Fairfield County that will be able to fill these jobs for homeowners, local businesses, you name it.
Yeah, at this point, from the survey, 24% would be staying in the summer, and this will definitely expand as this becomes like a national app, because then it will be kind of like Uber, where it works on statewide. So eventually that won't be a problem.
Have you thought about your gross margins?
Yeah, so our gross margins are, we'll be taking 20% cut from the apprentice wage, which will cover our credit card fees, general liability, payroll for our, we'll have 4 employees, and so we'll be taking, off the 20% cut, we'll have gross margin, like I said, there was $1.5 million by year 3, but there's a gross margin of $5.5 million, so we'll be taking 20% cut of that, which broke it down to $1.1 million for the commissions.
My apprentices get paid in cash.
Well, it would be paid through PayPal or Venmo, but in essence, I guess you
Venmo is a good idea. That's good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Right-hand apprentice.
Thank you.
Well, at this time, our investor panel will be going backstage to deliberate on which team will receive which seed in the awards totaling $30,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, and while they are doing that, we are now going to get a chance for you to vote, your text to vote. This will be for the aforementioned $1,000 prize for the audience favorite award. The team that, in your view, presented the best startup pitch this evening. You may start the voting now. Do we have it on the screen as to where they're voting? Oh, it's right above me. Thank you very much. Every year, a couple of dozen mentors okay, we're going to give you a little more time. Can you see where to vote? They can't see where to vote. It's up at the top, I'm told. Fairfield, hang on. Yeah, it's way up there. Fairfield StartUp D429. How are we doing? Anybody need any more time? Was that yes or no? Yes, they need more time. Are you familiar with cell phones? I think that they have the IT capability of most of the people who are my compatriots in the theater. How are we doing now? We done? Okay, that's all the time we have. Now we're going to move on. Every year, a couple of dozen mentors and advisors volunteer their time to support the teams from ideation through to pitch and beyond. And this video tells their story.
In the beginning, the mentors primarily came from the faculty. So we had some faculty that were teaching entrepreneurship classes. We had just started up an entrepreneurship program. And we did have mentors. We brought in people that I saw at investor meetings, say, hey, would you like to come work with some students?
It's not like a student-teacher relationship. And that's the important difference. This is a one-to-one relationship where you can interact with people, you can exchange ideas and concepts with people.
The mentors give them that real world, yes, that's important, and in addition to that, you need to do X, Y, Z.
The mentorship is basically what I wanted back then. I wish I had people that I could know and trust and just ask, like, how exactly do you do, what you're talking about? How did you do it?
I can now bring in students to go watch a real investor meeting, see what companies really do when they're doing exactly what these kids are trying to do.
Every year, the mentor pool gets bigger. The mentor list of resources gets bigger. The mentor contact pool gets bigger. So we're able to spread the students out to the right people more effectively now than we ever have been able to in the past.
We've got inventors that invented technology that you use every day. We've got CEOs of companies that you've heard of. It's amazing. They're all come here and they're like dying to work with 20-year-old students.
It's fabulous to see how people want to give back to the Fairfield Startup Program and just give back to these students and help them get to that next stage?
I think it's rewarding. You know, it's fulfilling. You make introductions, you can open doors.
It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So if I can help introduce the students to someone who knows me, who can help them, that's the role that I think I can play best.
You know, we like to be able to share the benefit of all the mistakes we've made, you know, so they won't make quite as many, hopefully, in the future.
If I can help a team avoid 1 or 2 pitfalls that I've probably fallen into a dozen times, then I've been successful. I can make them a little bit more successful, and it feels good.
You interact with just one kid who lights up the room, that makes your whole year. I should be paying for the privilege.
My desire is basically to give back. I like coming and see these young students and going, I was you. And it can happen, it can definitely happen.
I really like to be approachable to get these students to start talking and interacting with the mentors more, because that's really where a lot of the development and the growth happens, is once they start talking.
The experiences we've all had are priceless, really. So trying to share that and then share that with people that are receptive to it and can actually put it into practice in building their early stage startup business is a wonderful opportunity.
The type of student that comes through the Startup Showcase is a go-getter. They're hungry, they have a hustle, they want to do something outside of just school. They don't just want a job outside of school. They don't want a part-time job. They want something, they want to build something, they want to create.
It's so hard to remember they're 19 years old, they're 20 years old. This might be their first actual experience dealing with heavyweights from the business and operations communities and dealing with them at a peer-to-peer level. And they're completely unintimidated. They've just got gumption. I love that. I love the initiative.
I'm blown away by the fact that in addition to the rigor of their academics and enjoying college life, they're taking their time to try and do something that they believe so strongly in that they're willing to put themselves out there and pitch to other people.
You just feel you want to support someone like that who you know is really putting in a lot of extra hours around something that they really believe in.
You look at these kids and you can see that they can imagine the future. And if you can help them find their place in it, I think that's important.
I really am blown away by the students I meet here at Fairfield U. It just gives me so much hope and confidence in the future.
When I figure out what I want to do when I grow up, I hope I'm like them, and I'll pursue it with as much vigor and passion.
And now we get to invite our investor panel and teams back onto the stage for the feedback and the awards. Investors, will you enter the room, please? While they're coming, I just wanted to read something here that I have in front of me. Director Chris Huntley describes this as a talent incubator. Fall programming includes a kickoff, elevator pitch competition, business model workshop, and qualifiers. And my question, Chris, is I can't imagine really, or what I'm imagining as the elevator pitch competition. I mean, is that where you get on the first floor and you do the pitch and then they kick you off on the second floor? I mean, what is the elevator pitch competition? That's my question. And I expect an answer by the time the end of the evening. Thank you. All right. Now, we're going to be awarding, yeah, come on. Come on down. Come on, step right up. There you go. We're going to be awarding 5 prizes. Everybody gets a prize. $12,500 to the first team, top team, $7,500 to the runner-up, $5,000 to the third place team, and $2,500 to the 2 honorable mention teams. And now the moment that we've been waiting for is here. We'll be starting with honorable mention and finishing with our top team tonight. Teams, please remain on the stage after you've received your award. Investors, please share your feedback and award for each team. And here we go.
So for the first honorable mention, Team Village. everybody thought really worthy cause, great idea. You just probably need to work on it a little bit. Really think through the revenue model. How can you make money doing this? Who's going to pay? The legalities, right? But there's probably something there, and there's a real need there, as we all know, and I think you did a great job presenting that to us, and we wish you luck.
For the second honorable mention, we're good.
Are we going to hand out these checks now? Well, here comes the checks. So let's get the village people out here. Come on. All right. And our second honorable mention.
The prize goes to Present Pass. Thank you so much for all the work you've done on this. Just in terms of kind of our initial thoughts, we really agreed on the opportunity set, and we really think that there's a lot to be done here. We need to, I think, spend a little bit more time articulating the market.
Congratulations. And now our third place team will be announced.
The third place team is the Right Apprentice for $5,000, right? You can scale this in San Jose, California, so I'll be happy to pay whatever you need. Okay. Good job, excellent concept.
And our second place team?
The second place team is GreenIRR. We really think you have a superb market opportunity. You've done a great job so far. I understand Wells Fargo is interested in working with you, so we wish you a lot of good luck. The one thing we're really pleased with is that you're focused on one vertical, which has a lot of data. So congratulations.
And for $12,500, our first place team is?
It's Team Quantify. Congratulations, guys. We thought you did a really, really nice job. Great job identifying a really big problem in a big target market. It's always a good opportunity to work in markets where there's a lot of numbers. We also thought you were laser focused on the target buyer base, which we thought was great and got a lot of good market feedback. Just two things to think about is really thinking about fine-tuning your revenue model and how you're going to drive adoption in your kind of first pass of customers. But I thought you did a really, really nice job. Congratulations.
And the final award tonight is a $1,000 prize to the audience favorite chosen by you, and the winner is GreenIRR. There's no check. But there will be a check. And that's really terrific. And that's what the audience thought. So that's pretty wonderful. Well, there are a lot of people that we have to thank before we say goodnight to you, and I just want to name a few of them. I'll invite I'd like to thank Professor Chris Huntley, number one. We all know him. Our Fairfield StartUp Program Director, Eve Liptak, manager of Fairfield Dolan's Communication and Events, and our graduate assistants Caroline Coughlin and Kimberly Spordone for their amazing work on this competition. And let's also say thank you to the faculty and entrepreneur and the mentors and the Dolan School of Business Advisory Board and this year's sponsors listed on the banners and in your programs. Your support makes this competition possible. I just want to say to all of you, and to all of you, because how many of you have been to this event before? Shout it out. This is really an impressive evening. My world is the theater, so I have something in common with all of you. We do a thing called auditioning. It's very painful, but it was terrific to watch, and I was really impressed because basically pitching is auditioning. You're auditioning your show, you're auditioning your idea, you're auditioning yourselves. That's a large part of it. So let's do what we do in the theater to say goodbye to everybody, okay? Come on down and let's take a bow all together.